Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Now, one of the most important albums of the 60s is the one that is at least partly visualized behind me. It's not Sergeant Pepper's, it's nothing by the Rolling Stones. I talked about Herb Alpert being one of the kings of the 60s. It's not him. It is an album of bossa nova music and a bit of jazz, and it is Stan Getz and Yael Gilberto. It was known as the Getz Gilberto album, and it featured a wonderful Antonio Carlos Jobim, another one of the kings of the bossa nova world. Now, this album was important because it helped to mainstream the bossa nova sound to otherwise American or American adjacent audiences, and it did it with style. It did it with class. I hate this word when it's applied to music, but I'll say it because I know that someone out there wants me to. Sophistication. It did it with sophistication. It's one of those albums, and there's more than you would think, but there are plenty of duds out there too. It's one of those albums I would call perfect from start to finish. It has perfect compositions, perfect playing, a perfect set of personnel, a perfect set of artists playing on the album, wonderful production. The whole thing is really amazing. It featured some vocalizing by Astrud Gilberto, the wife of Yael Gilberto. It was really the who's who of the sort of modern, increasingly international bossa nova world. It was it was released a year after it was recorded. It was recorded in 63, released in March of 64, and it became an album that the critics love, the audiences love. And again, I don't care what critics like, but when they and audiences are aligned, it is an interesting moment. And it led to increased popularity of bossa nova in America and around the world outside of Brazil in a very major way. It turned both husband and wife Gilberto into stars. It turned Jean Beam into an even bigger star. And it created a big move where lots of singers in the American pop world began to sing bossa nova songs. Notably, Frank Sinatra did The Girl from Ipanema. Not only did he did it on an entire album of Antonio Carlos Jobim songs. Album was called Francis Albert Sinatra and Antonio Carlos Jobim. Really, really great album. It wasn't the first time they'd collaborate. They collaborated again a few years later. And Getz and Gilberto continued to collaborate on and off for years as well. But it all started with this album that is not only one of the most important albums of the 60s, but I think one of the most important and best albums of all time. Getz Gilberto. You can find it wherever fine records are streamed, and plenty of audiophile versions of it too, because like I said, it was recorded very, very well. I think Analog Productions did a great one myself. I'm looking forward to the Impex version. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.